Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft from the new machine, the hopefully silky smooth frame rate machine that I have spent quite a bit of time trying to get to work. And as we come over here, you're going to see that Mumbo's base is still a little bit herky-jerky, not as bad as before, and I've got a theory as to why this might be so. Maybe I've still got to optimize my new computer, which you're on right now, if I didn't make that clear. Or maybe it's because I'm using Optifine. I downloaded the latest version, and I have read that sometimes Optifine isn't the best for certain scenarios. But anyway, here we are. It's been quite a few days since I've been able to get onto the server properly and get ready to record a video and play, and that's just because setting up a new computer can be a lot of work when you've got loads of programs to install, settings to copy over, things to remember, and I've got an ever-growing list of little jobs that I need to do, and every time I go to do something on this computer it's like, oh, I need to change that setting, oh, I need to do this thing. But finally we get started. We can record the next episode of Hermitcraft, and I'm going to talk about these 3 big projects that we are going to be working on in February, so much so that I may be doing a lot more live streaming than usual. So I'm going to announce now, twitch.tv/xisumavoid. If you have not gone over there already and followed me, I do regular live streaming quite frequently, but I'm probably going to be doing a lot of Hermitcraft for the rest of the month. There's so much that needs to be done, and I really want to crack on and finish some of these projects. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit F3, and you will see that we are getting around 50, 60, depends what sort of direction we face in. Something else I'd like to point out for this test is that I have render distance on 20, which means I can load large amounts of the world as I move around it, although only some of it will actually be updating. I have no idea what this thing is. Okay, fires fire charges. Right, and here we can see the frame rate when we look at Mumbo's base. Yeah, it drops below 30, which is not so great. So test number 1. We're going to try that again. We're going to jump out the edge there, fly back in, and I'm going to turn down my render distance. Okay, I've dropped it down to 14, and way better. I mean, oh no, okay, it dropped under 30 again. Right, let's try this without Optifine on. Okay, I've let the world load a little bit, and I've got to say, this doesn't look so good. I was feeling some herky-jerkiness straight away. Maybe the world was still loading. Alright, so we jump off the edge again, we use our rocket, we fly out here a little bit, turn around, and we look at the base, and whoa, that's what I'm talking about. 200 frames per second. Optifine, you're supposed to make the game better. Now it is silky, silky smooth. Oh, that is really cool. Let's actually get that back up again. I want to see what the frames are. 213, 120. It's really good. It's a huge improvement, and I'm so happy with that. As you can see on the screen, I have an i9 9900K and a GTX 1070. Loads of people have been saying, Xisumavoid, the GTX is too underpowered. Here's the thing, Minecraft pretty much relies on single-threaded CPU performance, and the i9 is pretty much the best in the consumer market at doing that. When it comes to graphics, you can only get so much of a boost, and that's just because of the way that Minecraft is coded in Java. It's not the same for every game. If you're going to play something like Doom or some sort of popular shooter game, Fortnite, it's going to rely on the graphics card more. I've also just put my render distance back up to 20, and again, the frames are silky smooth. This is fantastic for video production. Over there, we can see a little bit of green space has been loaded. And when I'm in the middle, we can actually see both Mumbo and mine's base. Although my base has to be loaded first, so when it loads, we're going to look behind us, and you can see the proximity between our 2 areas. How cool is that? I'm going to mess around with trying to get it even higher at some point, maybe go up to 24 or 32. But anyway, let's jump into the base. What you'll see is absolutely nothing is happening here between the last episode and this one. We've got that corner over there to take care of, and I've just been so busy with getting the new computer set up. And this is one of our big projects that I'm going to be live streaming. Now, another one is the Hermitcraft Nether Hub, which we are going to do some very important stuff for the Hermits in today's episode over there. And our third new massive project that's going on right now is something we've been talking about doing for a long time, and Iskau has been the man of the hour providing what we need inside of this black box, my friends. Woo! Look at that! That is a crazy amount of skulls from Iskall. As you'll see, it says community gift, and that's because this is for a community project. Now, here in the past, the Hermitcraft, we have done many wither fights, and some of you may remember classic episodes where we did like 64 withers all at once in the same area. We're going to do that again this season, but this time we're going to do 100 withers, and we're going to invite all of the hermits. Everyone will be welcome to participate in a crazy, crazy battle. That requires a lot of preparation, and one of the things we actually need is for our beacons to provide us with speed. Might be a little bit non-essential, but resistance. We're going to need strength and regeneration, and that means setting up a perimeter with some beacons in, and you want to make the perimeter very big, so we actually need 4 stations of beacons, and therefore I've got to do some fighting to get some beacons prepared, right? So this, I haven't crunched the numbers yet. It might actually be a little bit short. I'll talk to Iskall about that, but dude, he has been the MVP right there, providing the skulls. So that's a project that we'll be doing in and around these episodes and on live streams, and we might get to touch on it in this one. But what we're going to do right now is head to the Nether Hub, just check out the state that it's in, and then I'm going to show you how us hermits are going to work together on finishing that project. And yeah, that's still a thing from the Civil War. I really need to do something with this. Every time I go through my portal, there is loud noises and guardian death. So this is the month where we want to finish this project, and lots of the hermits have been chipping in, and now Impulse has been getting involved. He's told me that he has removed his elevator to the gold farm up above, and that was an unfortunate thing to happen, you know. There is an opening right here, so you can still go up like this and get to that. But it was unfortunate that, you know, we built in some infrastructure and then as a group kind of changed our minds. But that's just how it goes. We want to do the best we can on this season and on Hermitcraft in general. And what we have planned for this area is the way to go. Now, how we're going to do it is we're going to use a modded Minecraft client with something called Rift. It's not Forge, which is the most common one. And another mod, which I can't remember off the top of my head, which is very similar to Schematica. And I want to say, it's been done in previous seasons of Hermitcraft. It's been discussed. It's an allowed thing that you can use a mod to show you where to place the blocks. We do not allow the mods that we use, though, to place the blocks for us. And because we're going to have so many blocks to place on the ground in this area, it's going to be very difficult to make sure we can all work together and get everything right. This is pretty much the best case scenario. So what I have to do is prepare a client for everyone else to see all the blocks that we're going to be placing, and they're actually going to be underneath all of this. So let's get a vantage point, and I'm going to log out, and then I'm going to log back in with the mod, and we can hopefully do like a little bit of a transition where all of a sudden the blocks that we have to place will appear. And this feels like a perfect spot. So I'm going to stand right here, I'm going to look over that portal, actually down a little bit, and now we're going to do a transition. And there is your transition, my friends, and I've run into a couple of problems making videos so far. The first clip of this video that you've watched was not on the correct settings, so if the video looks slightly lower quality, it won't be for the rest of this video. I'm still setting things up. And also, when I record with all of this on here, we actually get some herky-jerkiness. Now, when I am playing the game, it looks fine, but it's in the video that I'm recording that it seems to get just a little bit kerfuffled, and you'll see, I don't know, maybe it's all of these transparent layers just don't record very well. It's got me worried, though. I've brought this new system, and everything's supposed to be fantastic, and it's not. And I tell you what, falling down onto this was not very helpful. So from up here, things will be a little bit better, and I'm noticing that the frames are fine, and then maybe when we go and look over the edge, my recording doesn't like this. That's fascinating. There must be something quirky going on with how this works. But from up here, you can sort of see some of the rivers where I'm pointing, and some of the land masses between them, and then over here, for example, is ocean. Now, the light blue color here is very strong, and I'm not sure if I can turn down its opacity, but essentially, this is showing us where we need to place blocks, and off in the distance over there, there are actually a couple of blocks that have been correctly placed, and when you do that, these transparent layers basically disappear. Now, what I'm going to do is distribute this mob to the hermits and the settings that are in place to put this schematic that I have created into this space. But it kind of occurred to me that it was a long time ago that I showed this project and how we had pre-built all of this stuff. So we're going to jump onto my server that has all of this properly built and just give you a refresher. So if everything here looks a little bit pale, that's because there is actually a selection which I have then put onto the Hermitcraft world as a schematic to show us where to build. So this is our Season 6 map, and we went through the whole creation process of this quite a few episodes ago. Maybe I'll put a episode number on the screen or something like that for you if you want to go back and watch it. But that is our island. So to give you a quick overview of recent projects that we've done, up there is the Christmas snowy area. Down here, where this river is where the Civil War is. So the G-Team base was on that spot, and our base was over on this side. And then over here is the shopping area, and then off in that direction is Grian, Mumbo's, and my bases, which is why I have constructed an opening in the side of the wall over here, because it takes you to my base. And that's where we're going to go now, because I need to pick up some supplies. If we look around here, yikes. We need to stop ghast spawning in this area, and in order to do that, we need to finish placing down all of this black concrete. A fair amount has been placed down so already, but we're going to need some gravel and some sand, and I have some of that back at my base. So I should have a fair amount of this stashed up. Whoa! 3 lots of sand, and look at that, not quite 3 lots of gravel, but I got some stashes of stacks. Stacks is not stashes. Oh, and I might have some more in here, yes. So we should be able to fill up 3 shulker boxes worth of black concrete powder, which we're then going to go and place in the Nether Hub. Obviously, I've got to turn it from powder to concrete, and we also have all of the ink sacks that we need. Galore! Look at how much ink sacks we've got over here. This is fantastic. Wonderful. So somewhere in this area, I'm going to build a little converting machine, and we're going to turn all of this stuff from one to the other. So look at this. Oh my goodness me, am I going to be busy placing blocks today? I don't know what percent of the overall project that is, but it feels like a lot. That's what it feels like. And we're going to go put these on top of hoppers that are going to feed into a dropper. And around the corner here, I've just kind of made one of these based on memory. And as soon as I look at it, I can tell that this is in the wrong position. Did it pick up the obsidian? Of course it did. Also, what is that clicking sound? That's the Guardian farm up above. That's not going to be very nice. I also need a water bucket over here. Alright, so I can put blocks here and break them. They get converted into concrete. And I don't know if the hopper's going to pick up everything because they like to pop off and fly around. But I'm not going to do this fully AFK. Every 4 minutes I'm going to then check on this. So there are enough hoppers here for us to put each of these on top. And there's the last one. Made me panic for a second. And there we go. So it's going to constantly feed in the black concrete powder. And then when we put it here, it should... Oh, I've done that the wrong way around. And that, of course, meant that all of this was wrong. Oh, can I catch a break? That's what you get for doing it from memory. So now, yay, it's going to give me one each time. Awesome. So, my friends, the audio that you're hearing right now is recorded post. Because new computer, new problems. For some reason, the audio just didn't work when I made that recording. Reloaded OBS and everything was fine. Anyway, I was just telling you about how long I have spent working on this. I was smart. I decided to make a little script with auto hotkeys to hold down left and right click so that I could leave it running for 4 minutes and then come back to the computer and collect all the concrete. And oh my goodness me, it took hours, but I got so much done with that time. I was cleaning up the room, which has been full of boxes and computer parts all over the place, and I was able to tidy absolutely everything up, but it literally took hours to get this done. And then there were some slimes in my base invading and being a nuisance. Ah yes, then I began to talk about how the pick that I was using almost broke. I didn't even think about it. It didn't cross my mind we'd use so much of our picks, but one got worn down to 37, and luckily I noticed it so it didn't break. I think I then went to comment on about how much concrete there was in total, and just saying that I don't even know how much we need in total. I just decided to make an absolute boatload of this, and I could have potentially made more than we actually need for this project. Feels like it's been a while since I've been in this area. You know, we've spent a lot of time over at the Christmas place, and then we got distracted by the Civil War, and we've been hibernating in our own base as well, working on that. So it's good to be back over here walking through the district. Now, judging by the amount of black concrete chests we have here, we are not even going to get close, my friends. Thank goodness. I was a little bit worried for a second. Do you know what thing I'm going to do? I'm going to put 2 in like this, and then drag blocks across like that to show... Hey, this is like, you know, the equivalent of all of those, because they've all got the right amount in. And now I need some more blocks. And there's only 3 here. Right, any old item will do. There we go. We're going to take 2 of these ourselves and use them in the Nether Hub. And also, someone over here has been using dirt blocks like this as sort of a visual system. So we've got most of the blue carpet. In fact, it looks like, yeah, almost all of the blue carpets. In fact, that one's full up. So just one more double chest to go. I've still got to be collecting my sea lanterns. I should really go and craft those in my base, actually. Goodness me, I've just forgotten how much stuff we need for this project. It is truly ridiculous. Alright, a quick trip to the noisiest place on the server so we can repair our gear. And then back here at the base, we're going to pick up some of these empty shulker boxes and fill them up with sea lanterns. So I've stockpiled some over here and labelled it. All of those will go to the community project, and then I have loads of these crystals as well. So we need to bring extra shards back to craft more. And our storage system for storing all of the drops from the Guardian farm has indeed backed up. So it needs emptying, and it's going to provide us with a ton more of these. So I have emptied out all of the chests over there, and I have crafted an insane amount of sea lanterns. It feels like I barely placed a block today, yet I've just been on here grinding out some materials for this absolutely massive project. Let's go and put all of these into the chests and see just how many more we need in total. So after I drop off these shulker boxes, we'll have 2 double chests left. Actually, let's make that 1.5 double chests. And that's about 3 shulker boxes worth. That actually won't take us too long. We're going to spend plenty of time in the base working on it over the coming weeks. And I'm sure we'll get all the drops we need. Well, I was going to start placing blocks, but then I noticed how many zombie pigmen are up here. We don't want ghast spawning on this roof. We need to torch this thing up to stop them from spawning, like absolutely everywhere, because the ghast can blow up these blocks, and that probably means there's going to be a little bit of maintenance from time to time. But if we just torch it up, we can reduce the spawns, and that is very important, of course. Woo! Okay, and there goes by another couple of hours. Let's use our rockets. Let's fly around here and see what I've done, because I have come all the way across from the line that goes through the center, starting on the opposite side and filling it in all the way down to this end, using 2 shulker boxes worth and then filling up my inventory again, so probably like another 12 stacks or so. So that's a crazy amount placed. And look at this. I think it's False who's mostly been doing all of this. So we've got one side of the wall done over there, and then this is all netherrack. And I think the best places to fill in for the walls first will be the ones where it's open, so we can get the ghasts on the outside and not on the inside. Over here I did this little bit of wall, and I did that little bit. So half of the ceiling is finished and 1/4 of the wall, and a little bit over here. It's absolutely ginormous. I can just fly around this thing forever. I think once it's finished, maybe we should do like a PvP event where we fly around and try and fight each other in the air like some sort of arena. Like, kind of like that thing that we did in, was it season 4? With the crazy underground dig. Oh, some of you will remember. Now you might be thinking, well done Asuma, look at all those blocks that you placed everywhere. But as you'll see, in creative mode, we're not actually on the Hermitcraft server. This is just a copy from the backup, the world download that I've put into the world where I've been doing all of this stuff, right? And I noticed critical error. I actually made this bit 2 blocks instead of 3, so going to knock that one out. And basically, all the placing of concrete got me thinking that for this problem we have with how we're going to transition this bit to that bit, maybe concrete is the answer. And I don't think it's going to be so. I think we have to embrace sandstone, because sandstone is already here. And I thought maybe we could build these up and have them kind of disappear into the darkness of the concrete and then bring the concrete around the front. Problem is, yeah, it's not going to work with these slabs, and if I do this, water's going to flow out. It's going to be very painful. I think further down here, there's signs. Yep, I just broke one, so that would potentially break the farm. Did that go on top of lava? Not sure. We broke the sign, but everything seems to be okay. Anyway, of course, this is a creative backup world, so it's fine. I reckon what we're going to have to do is actually kind of take the same idea of keeping this shape, but we're going to have to go downwards. And this actually means that our minecart system gets to be visible again. I thought it was a bit of a shame that it got hidden behind. And then I noticed that this came all the way up to the very top of it. So now if we remove this section right here, we can actually see this from down below. So that seems far more feasible to me. Maybe we'd even change the colour of the yellow sandstone down here. Maybe change it to like blue, get some lapis in there so we can continue the water and the glass downwards a little bit. I can play around with that, but now we can focus on the transition from the top to this area. And I think sandstone is going to be the trick, and ultimately it's going to not be particularly pretty. Me and Mr. Polymath spent quite a bit of time trying out all sorts of techniques in the area to get this stuff to fix, and I think the sad reality is that it's going to be a flat roof like this, and then have this pattern continue its normal, you know, I don't know, gradient, whatever the word would be, down into this area and just essentially meet up with it, so there'd be like a circle in the top. So my friends, I've given myself a cheaty elytra so we can jump into the base as if we were coming here from our journeys, and wow. That's really got something going for it, right? And if we look up there, it really isn't so bad. In fact, the lighting kind of makes it interesting in a way, the way it sort of fades off to the middle. I don't think that's too bad at all. And also, you may notice that there is some ice back here as well, and some lighting up the top. We've got a sea lantern, and I just wanted to add another colour here, and I noticed, hey, there's already ice here, why would we use lapis? And I think it fits the colours really well. So huge strides here in the base. This means we're going to pretty much be able to start building this during some of the live streams that I'm going to be doing. So for the grounds, we're going to take this little pod that I've made out of dark prismarine and copy it around the place. And it's going to leave a gap, I think, a gap like this. And I don't want to have slabs coming into the room. I want this to be a flat glass floor, so that means these blocks need to be glass like so, and then we need something underneath them, which could just be dark prismarine again. Maybe I'll use the black concrete down here or maybe just prismarine. Yeah, I think actually I'll use the black concrete. So that didn't work out, the size of it was wrong, and then I decided I would go with ice down here, and I actually think it's a nice reason to bring that material from the top back down here again. Problem is, I've tiled a little section here built out of this kind of middle two indents, and when you look at it from this side you realise that it doesn't line up. So the middle of this goes up with the middle of that, and here it lines up with the edge. So where we've got this like double section over here, it kind of throws off a repeating pattern. I think this might extend all the way across the other side okay, but then it wouldn't extend from here. So what I'm going to do is copy this, paste it in over there, and see if I can squeeze things together. So it has worked out, but kind of in a strange way. It's not quite the pattern I thought it would be, but I've thrown in some variety and changed up a few things here and there, and that's kind of the end result. Now I do have night vision, so clear, assumer, bam. That's a little bit more mystic, right? I was also thinking it might be a good idea to put a light source actually in the very middle anyway. Oh yeah, and then we've got the sunlight coming in, so that's how it's going to light up naturally, and we might have other light sources dropping in here. But I really like this area, it's got a really cool vibe to it, and remember that the openings leading to the different places will be like this, so we'll be able to walk through, and then there'll be a tunnel through here leading to somewhere else. So there shall be 4 of those in total. One will lead to the Guardian Farm drops, the other will lead to a storage area, and the other 2 we'll talk about another time. Check this out, I have created a schematic of what we've just built in creative mode, and like that, we can transpose it into this world. And you know what, I've got a feeling actually it might be off by 1 block in this direction. If I just scroll it forward, is that better? Or maybe it's off by 2 blocks? There we go. Okay, I will double, triple, quadruple check that, but I think what we're looking at right there is what the end product will look like. For now though, I'm going to turn that off. So I have a question for all of you. At any point in this video, did you notice that the quality all of a sudden got better, both in terms of audio and video? Because with me setting up my new computer, I went through a lot of settings and found some significant changes I can make to my recording and rendering software, and you might actually pick up on that in the video. So let me know if you did, and let me know whereabouts in the video you think you saw a change in quality. I'd like to see if anyone can guess it or if it's obvious. But anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. So if you've enjoyed it, then leave a like. As always, thank you for doing that. It supports the channel and I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.